the race was actually not too bad. Leclerc got unlucky, but Verstappen's also had the same unluckiness in other races, so it's not too bad. I think it's evened out a bit.
Yeah, I think also like people saying, "Oh, Perez was robbed of the race," when yes, he didn't have the best strategy. Yes, I think Red Bull toyed him around a little bit. I think he was the man that was going to overtake Russell quicker, but even after all that, I still think Verstappen would have overtaken him. He was just so much quicker. That's my best. But I do sympathise with Perez. He didn't make the mistakes and he didn't have the best strategy. But when push came to shove, I thought Verstappen was just quicker. I just still think he would have overtaken Perez somehow, some way.
And at the end of the day, no offence to Perez, I do love Perez. He's one of my favourite drivers, but he's not in contention to go for the drivers. I don't think. Well, Verstappen definitely is.
Exactly.
So I think it's just a game he's got to play now until he can start consistently beating Verstappen. That's his game he's going to have to play, unfortunately.
And to be quite frank, if that was Leclerc and Sainz Ferrari would have done the same thing. Sainz isn't in the championship at all, and he isn't going to be.
But exactly.
Yeah, I thought, what was your thoughts on the Hamilton-Magnussen contact? Because initially I thought, oh god, that's Lewis, that's your fault. But to be honest, I had to look at the point of contact. Hamilton actually wasn't that far, was quite close to the inside curve. So I thought, I don't want them to penalise either of the drivers because it's just unfortunate the contact. But I don't really blame Hamilton, and I don't blame Magnussen for going for the move. He tried to take the best line possible. Could he have gone to the outside a bit? Yeah, but sometimes drivers want to go for the move. You shouldn't have to criticise them for everything they do.
It was lap 1 as well, I believe. So Magnussen went for the corner. Hamilton was ahead, but Hamilton did get a little bit of understeer, but he left plenty of room for Magnussen on the outside. So it was just a 50-50. I don't think anyone should get penalised.
It was.
And I'm not a big fan of Hamilton, but I think it was 50-50 there.
Yeah, I tell you what, people were saying also Hamilton had the pace to win. Yeah, Hamilton probably was quicker than Russell, but he had to push to get through the field. I think this kind of by the end of the race, he kind of driving that season, and obviously Hamilton had those problems like was Hamilton that was forced through having to come through the field. There was no option. If he didn't push hard, he wasn't going to be in the points. I think, but Russell dropped off a bit. Russell had to defend from Verstappen, and that defence he put on Verstappen, where he got back past him, I thought was the move of the race. I remember watching the race thinking, Verstappen's only going to get past if you can go for the inside line, because you're not going to pass Russell around the outside. And then he gave up, and I thought, okay, that's it. I think with the new rules being able to go side by side, I think Max was kind of cautious because he didn't know where Russell would be. When you've got like younger, inexperienced drivers racing out in the front, it's kind of like you don't know where to be. Russell did play it to a T. I thought it was brilliant. That was definitely his best driver in Mercedes so far, in my opinion, because he managed to go toe to toe with the best of the sport, and I thought racecraft wise was absolutely sublime. That defensive from Verstappen I thought was epic. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. I'm trying to think of what else. It was a good race.
Looks like we're going in, it should be.
Yeah, for Barcelona standards, that I loved it. I thought the first few laps were absolutely nuts. Did it die down a bit? Yeah, but to be quite honest, I think when you lose drivers like Leclerc from the race who would have had a factor in the outcome of the race, and when you have Sainz who wasn't in the place really where he should have been, same with Hamilton, I think that was kind of inevitable. But even still, we got late on from the States at the end, so no, I enjoyed it. I did like last year's Spanish Grand Prix, Verstappen v Hamilton, but I think this is the best Spanish Grand Prix I've seen in at least a few years. It was really good. Really good.
Yeah, best Spanish Grand Prix I've seen for a while, to be fair.
Probably since 2017 or 2016. No, it was...
what was 2016? Who won that? Was that Rosberg or was that...
It was Verstappen's... 2016.
Well, I think now, it's been a while.
It has been, yeah. I mean, I was in a pram 5 minutes ago, but...
Oh yeah, it would be. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? I'm an idiot.
Yeah, what else? I'm trying to think what else. Alonso getting points, I did not expect that, to be honest. I know Alpine have been quick, but I kind of thought, Alonso isn't going to get points, but he did. Norris, I thought Norris's drive went under the window because he's had tonsillitis all weekend. apparently.
Yeah, but he's done an amazing job from where he was, so I can't complain. Really.
I think he is such a great driver at the moment. I think he's getting the measure of Ricardo. All right, Ricardo isn't in his prime, but he's beating an established driver by quite a lot at the minute. I think he's a fantastic talent. In a way, I do hope he does have a car that can consistently fight for race wins, because he will win them from time to time. But
yeah, definitely.
We'll have to see.
Oh, apparently your mic is messed up in the party.
Is it not?
And set up in the audio.
My mic is on, and it says included
it's on.
In my audio.
It's just crackly.
Okay, wait, give me a sec. Let me just check.
The word used is really scratchy.
Okay.
Let's see, it's change now. Can you say something for me, just to see if it's fixed?
Okay, I'm trying to say something. I'm also trying to read Discord as well. My Wi-Fi's playing up a bit. God.
Still a bit scratchy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Anyway, Funky Delight on a flying lap now. Let's see what we can get up to. Okay, good turn 1, turn 2, perfect stuff going on there. Coming into the turn 3 chicane now. How much curb are they going to take? Just enough, missing the wall perfectly. And that's a great sector 1 already. Let's see if they can keep this up.
I'm just going to try and say something again, just hear it in the stream.
Okay. It's a little bit better, but it's still a bit scratchy. Round the head. Theo's already retired in Sector 1. Ooh, big crash. Brother Troll and Theo both out. There's a lot of... There's a lot of cars on track. Cadre. Yeah, a Cadre is off to the side, but he's still in.
Yeah, it seems like... Does he not win by any chance? No, he hasn't. It's still very much intact. Obviously
Theo and Brother Troll get involved in a collision there, so that's gonna ruin their race completely already.
Indeed, obviously, only being an 18-lap race gives them less time to come through the field, and although we've seen, particularly from Scofie this weekend, even, through the inspiration of Scofie, coming through from the back of the grid in an 18-lap race is, well, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, and KY's picking up a 5 good penalty there for collision with the Cadre. And Connor crossing the line now, the 110.0. So that's not a bad time there from Connor. Let's see what people's tyres are. Horrid B though, a 19.9 on the medium compounder tyres. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can see the top 3 also separated by just over a tenth of a second. So, well, it's got a competitive edge this session already.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone's on a flying lap at the moment. I think everyone's coming back into the pits. We're just gonna find out. If Horrid B though if he can stay with that that pole position for now, and on the medium compound tyres, that's really gonna set him up well for the race.
Indeed it is. Like Connor, no, Connor isn't going for a second lap. No one is currently on a lap, so we have our top 7 for the moment, and this is, of course, headed by Horrid B.
someone leaving now. It is KOS, just leaving the pits. Five-grid penalty. KOS needs to put in a decent time now to make sure he gets within that top 10 at least.
He does, but also having said that, if he does qualify low in the top 10, it means that he'll probably be starting outside the top 10 on used tyres, which, well, is going to put him out of sync with regards to the drivers around him. But it also just does set him in a good place in the race either, because he won't be able to go on as long into the race than other people on the same time. And he has found the wall off of the exit of turn 9.
And that's right on the racing line as well.
It is indeed. Hopefully
that's going to be problematic.
The drivers are able to avoid him for the moment, but a hairy moment there for the Aston Martin that has terminal consequences. Oh, and Funky D's hit him as well.
Same issue.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's just unlucky there.
Well, now Funky D will be obstructing the racing line too. That's a real shame there. Funky D, who was running second, is going to start no better than second in this race, and well, that is a dramatic moment.
So, Bullet 2486 is on a flying lap as we speak on the soft compounder tyre. See if we can keep it clean. So far, not looking too shabby.
20 points is taking quite a lot of curb, but you can get away with that in Tier 4. In Tier 4, with track limits just less drastically. But it's slightly losing the rear off the exit of turn 9, but heads on towards the casino hairpin. 43.4 through the first 2 sectors. Let's see if he can.
Not the fastest times.
Isn't indeed. But let's see if there's anyone else registering promising lap times. 41.8 through the first 2 sectors for KOT. Moose in the Haas. Looks like he is going to be completing a lap very soon. Don't think it will prove him, but Haas slotted his Alpine up to provisional pole on a 19.5. 3.5 tenths ahead of Horridby. Could that be the difference between the softs and the mediums? Nonetheless, still has Horridby in a promising place, but he will be relying on the drivers behind him to not improve.
Interesting to note as well now, everyone who's on track now will be in the top 10.
Indeed.
So whatever tyre they qualify on now will be the tyre they start on. So it's all about where they want to start now, which is going to play a massive role. Obviously the bottom 4 there, Theo, KOS, Akadre and Brother Troll having to start on whatever tyre they want because they're out of the top 10.
Now it doesn't seem like anyone is on a push lap at the moment, but we have Atomic Tracks, Busby and Connor coming out onto the track.
I believe KOT is just finishing his last lap now. He's on the final sector.
Oh, okay. I think he was down. Was he down quite drastically for the first 2 sectors? I thought he was.
I'm not too sure.
He does have the armor,
yeah,
so
he should be. That time isn't great.
Yeah. So he comes in.
He's coming straight.
Yeah. He does dive into the pits. So for the likes of Connor, Busby and Atomic Tracks, they have the circuit Shaw Villeneuve to themselves. Atomic Tracks is not improving through the first sector, but obviously with so many turns left to tackle of the circuit, Atomic Tracks will look for an improvement hit in P8. He's the rear
big spin again!
Or when he somehow manages to avoid the walls, he will have to spin that around. Okay, his front wing
now has collided with the wall.
Yeah, he has. Probably will have damage and he keeps on losing the rears. He puts the power down. Those tyres will be roasting hot. But wow, that was perilously close to the end of his session.
won't be the end of the world. It was towards the end of the lap. He's got 8 minutes. He can come in, put a fresh set of softs on, and he was down in his time anyway, so it's not the end of the world there for Atomic Drax.
Connor is improving through the first sector in his Mercedes. We have yellow flags up in sector 3. I think that's because Atomic Drax is going rather slowly. Looks like he's going to be starting another lap. And he will look to improve his fortunes in this session. But Connor, through the first 2 sectors, well, he completed the first 2 sectors. How will he fare on the last 2 straights towards the line?
It's purple sector 2 as well, so he's on for a good lap here.
Yes, indeed. Currently half a second off the pace is Connor. But what can he do going through the final chicane? It looks like he's avoiding the walls. Busby is now retired.
Oh, Busby!
Yeah, Busby has retired from the session, but Connor in the Mercedes has gone to the top of the timesheets. Lost it through.
This is going to be an interesting sprint. If the drivers are struggling to do the qualifying, let alone the race is going to be a lot more arduous and a lot more of a problem for these drivers. So it's going to be interesting to see how the race unfolds.
It is indeed. Atomic Drax now has lost his front wing. So he will have no improvements on this latest lap. He will come into the pits, change his tyres, obviously gets a new front wing, and will hope to reignite his charge in this session. But it is a charge that currently sees him in P8.
I believe Moose and Bullet are the only 2 on a flying lap at the moment.
They are indeed moved out on the medium compound tyres, going through the first few corners, through the exit of turn 4, riding the curb very nicely there. And it is not an improvement through the first sector for him. Bullet through the first sector. Okay, it didn't really register if he's improved or not, but Moose is ahead of Bullet on the road. He's also ahead of him on the leaderboard too. So what can Moose do in the Haas, running very wide left for the turn 8-9 chicane, as he continues his push on this lap, and it really is not going to come to an improvement for him. But it then is improving quite significantly through the first 2 sectors. He's currently on the medium compound tyres, and if this is his quickest lap of the session, he will be starting the race provisionally on these very tyres. Just less than 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Bullet at the moment is slowest of the current runners. He comes around the final chicane, has a smooth ride, and now he will just dazzle towards the finish line. It's an improvement to P8. It's an improvement by over 1.5 seconds for the Alfa Romeo, and that opens up strategy for him. Yes, he will be in the middle of the pack, but the medium compound tyres, he can run theoretically longer on his first stint. Now Atomic Drax in the Ferrari is out on the track. Doesn't seem like Bullet. Well, we'll see if Bullet goes for another lap. I very much doubt it. Atomic Drax, though, is on an out lap and will soon look to improve his 9th place at the moment in qualifying.
I believe Bullet is coming in this lap. Yep, straight into the pits.
Okay then, so Atomic Drax will have the circuit Gilles Villeneuve to himself. And it probably will be quite pleasing, hopefully, as no one comes out of the pits, or it looks like KOT is coming out onto the track, but he will be a long way clear of the Ferrari. Atomic Drax then starting his lap. Through the first couple of corners, taking a very aggressive line and running out wide and hitting the wall.
Oh,
and
that's another one.
That is the end of his session, running a touch wide through the exit of turn 1 and trying to take a way too acute angle into turn 2. That is spatting into the wall, and the prancing horse has well fallen, and it has fallen in this session. At best, he will start from P9 with the likes of Ellie and Jay Headley, who is, I believe, just joined us looking to improve in this session. Wow, Atomic Drax. His latest run lasted 2 corners, and wow, that really has hindered him for today's race.
And he's going to have to start on the compound he qualified on, which was those softs, which I believe he's the one he span out on as well. So those tyres aren't going to be the best tyre for the race.
Qualifying can just be so pivotal, particularly in a short sprint. And Atomic Drax, well, has just possibly learnt his fate and learnt some of the disappointment that may arise in his 18-lap quest. KOT
Hydrant is now out of the pits as well.
KOT has hit the wall. It's not an improvement through the first sector. It doesn't seem like he's incurred any damage. That isn't going to help him, and he runs wide again. And this is not shaping up to be a promising lap for the Aston Martin. He lost his teammates earlier on in the session, and it seems like, well, for the moment, he isn't going to be able to improve that provisional P5. It looks like he's
on Hydrant as well onto the lap, onto his laps now. Hydrant on the soft compound tyre from the medium, so he's opting for the soft strategy, whereas obviously Bullet there is only one of the mediums, so that could play into Bullet's favour come the race.
It absolutely could. We've learned this weekend that the safety car has come out numerous times and can play a big factor in the outcome of the race. Doesn't matter if it's at the start or creeping towards the end of the race. The safety car can change things. Jay Headley, though, in the AlphaTauri is setting about on his first lap, and he goes quickest of anyone through the first sector. If he can keep this up, the likes of Connor and Hydrant and Horridby will have to look behind them and, well, be ready for Jay Headley's immense pace, which he's shown through the first sector. Horridby doesn't look like he's going to be starting any higher than P3 because there's less than half a minute left of this session, and he's just come out of the pits. But Jay Headley now through the kink of turn 12 and on towards the chicane. What can he do? It was a quickest first sector, it was a competitive middle sector, but is the lap going to be hooked up for the AlphaTauri? The quickest lap time so far is a 1:09.4. That isn't beaten by Jay Headley, and at best he will qualify P5, but for just the one effort, a commendable job there from the AlphaTauri. Hydrant, though, in the Alpine is improving. He has one more corner to go. Looks like he escaped the mercy of the wall. He chases down the checkered flag, and it's provisional pole for the Alpine, a 1:09.1, and Connor doesn't look like he's going to be improving. So that may just be pole position for Hydrant. Moose in the Haas doesn't look like he's going to be improving, and he doesn't. He stays in P8. So Connor then, who did have pole position stolen from him in the dying stages of qualifying, and it is Hydrant that will lead the field at the start of the sprint. Great job there from the Alpine, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. Some great racing there. Well, I say great racing. Half the grid has obviously DNF during the qualifying stage, so the racing stage is going to be completely different. But the thing here is, Bullet 2486, not the fastest driver on the track, but is on those medium compound tyres, and if there isn't a safety car until halfway through the race, that could definitely play into his hands, and that can really give him a good position.
Indeed, it could. So, yeah, Hydrant, who was on pole for Tier 1 on Friday, will head the field in Tier 4 on this Sunday evening. And, yeah, he's hooked a lap together, a lap of a 1:09.1. And, well, who can stop him at the moment?
I think Horridby as well just misjudged the time of when he should leave the pits, and that's cost him dearly. He would have been out at just the right time, maybe got a slipstream off Connor or Hydrant, and that could have gained him another position, maybe even pole if he went for it. It's unfortunate about Horridby, but it's only the qualifying, no points available yet, it's all for the race.
Indeed, it is. So then your leaderboard in qualifying, Hydrant on pole by, wow, just over a quarter of a second ahead of Connor. Horrisby has qualified on the mediums according to the timing page. So, wow, he in his home race, can he please the home faithful? And there you can see before you the rest of the grid. And we are set up, Matt, for an intriguing race. And who would you say is favourite going into this?
I mean, I think Connor is in for a good position here. I think Connor has the pace, as well as Jay Headley as well. Hydrant as well, fast driver, obviously on pole, but I think it's between Jay Headley, Hydrant, and Connor for this one, I believe.
Well, let's see if your words speak the truth come the end of the race. I believe there is no formation lap for Tier 4. Do I speak correctly, Matt?
I believe there is no formation lap for Tier 4, so we should be... and people have already readied up. They should not be readying up.
Now it seems like the action is a little bit closer than we anticipated, but this 18-lap sprint will soon be underway. Let's hope there are no teething problems from Codemasters and that we do not have a delay to the race start. PFL has enjoyed a weekend of wonder and utter shenanigans. Can Tier 4 live up to the billing that the rest of this league division has served up? We are racing at the circuit Jules Villeneuve. It seems like it's a decent start from Hydrant. Connor is lurking on his rear wing, but into turn 1, the Alpine is out in front. Seems like we're able to make it cleanly to the first few corners. The Alfa Romeo Bullet going side by side with the Ferrari. He managed to get through unscathed. And you can see also Theo having to lose out to Ellie, who swoops to the inside of the chicane. Now Theo going side by side with the Cudger, and that is a battle with the Alpine rather quickly wins. Oh, and it looks like Watson was almost going to lose the rear of the car and finds himself into the wall, but he manages to keep it pointing in the right direction. KOT is Busby getting perilously close, and Moose wants the displace of them both. So they rage on towards the casino hairpin that has to the outside. Can he make the move stick? No, he can't. He then gets a little bit of attack from the Ferrari as he finds the wall. He's going to lose part of his front wing. He's going to have to surely pit. And spotted an opportunity there. It almost looked like he went conservatively into the hairpin, and he got a little tap, I think, from the Ferrari, and that has wrecked his race.
Yeah, pit stop strategy now, so soft to mediums or soft to hards, pitting laps 7 to 11. It's been an interesting start so far.
Has been interesting. Funky Delia has found the wall. Funky Delia has found the wall. Sorry, Matt, to interrupt you, but the Williams into the first corner has found the wall where we saw Felipe Massa wander into in 2014. The Williams of the 2021 Formula 1 cars has found the wall a lot less dramatically, and it has not proved race terminable, but well, that has not helped his quest in this race.
And don't worry, you can interrupt me whenever you want, not a problem.
I wish my teachers were like that at school. Right, so moving on. Busby.
I think Bullet is doing really well on those mediums. He could easily get to, apparently predicted pit stop for the medium tyre. They can get to about lap 10 and go on to the softs. So Bullet there is actually in a very, very great position there, maybe on the podium, and he's keeping up with the soft compound tyre.
He is indeed, but the battle for 5th place at the moment being contested between Busby and KOC is one that the Ferrari has the upper hand on at the moment, but down the start-finish rate, he may solidify the supremacy in this battle, because I don't think Aston Martin is close enough to make a move into turn 1, but it lurks in the distance, but he too is not able to make an impression. So
obviously DRS activated this lap now as well, so that's going to make a bit of a conundrum for the DRS train that is forming up behind Busby.
Oh, but it's hit the wall, and KOT right behind him tried to take evasive action, but then he suddenly found the wall, and he has found the end of his race, crashing out through the exit of turn 4, and Matt Aston Martin is now a scene of a wreck. The virtual safety car has been deployed.
Bullet hit the wall there?
bullets right ahead of him hit the wall. The Aston Martin tried to take evasive action and then found the wall. It's amazing if Bullet hasn't got damaged because that looked quite a firm hit into the wall. But now we are back underway. Ellie has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. That is a real shame. She has atomic Drax breathing down her neck. But Hydrant and Connor are actually not that far away from one another. Akerdre now progresses past Bullet and up into 6th place. But the battle for the lead at the moment is one that Hydrant has the upper hand on, but Connor, well, is looking to ask a few questions. Ellie now dives into the pits, I believe, to serve her drive-through penalty, which she does. But now Akerdre is on a mission on the medium compound tyres. He started in 15th, / last. He is now looking for his place in P5. Busby is going to have to look in his mirrors because Akerdre is growing ever larger in them. Well, he's impossibly late onto the brakes through turn 8 and turn 9. Thankfully avoids what could have been a catastrophic accident for his race chances. But the Ferrari at the moment holds position. Connor is chasing down Hydrant. I don't think a move is going to come about into the final chicane, but perhaps if he gets a good exit, a move could be on down the start-finish straight. Maybe not, because the Williams has got, oh no, sorry, the Alpine has got a very strong exit. Oh, and Busby has now hit the wall. Akerdre will not need a second invitation. He breezes past the Ferrari. Now it seems like Kawasa is out of the race, and the safety car, the full safety car, has now been deployed.
That's going to play into a lot of the soft compound runners now. The softs, so for the soft compound, you can easily get to the end now on the medium compound tyre. For the medium runners though, they could go onto the softs and they'll be quick. But come lap 11 or lap 12, those tyres are going to start dying off. So it could be either or here. Anyone can pit, anyone can gain that advantage, but we'll have to see how it turns out.
Wow. Could luck have found the door of some of the drivers? Has it eluded others? We will have to see. But for the moment, the soft compound runners are going to be saying their prayers as the safety car looks to have come at the exact right moment for them. The safety car will be out for a few laps, so it means they won't be punishing their tyres in the first few tours on those brand spanking new tyres. Now let's see what Akerdre does. He is on the medium compound tyres and he does come into the pits. Bullet, also on the medium compound tyres, comes into the pits, but one of the drivers staying out is Atomic Drax. Now,
as well as Horridby in P1 as well.
Now Horridby's on the mediums, Atomic Drax is on the softs. He's going to be coming out very, very close to the Alpine and just about ahead. Sure, Hydrant would have loved to emerge ahead of the Ferrari, but that hasn't proven to be the case. Connor now is retired from the session. He has found the wall, it seems, out of absolutely nowhere. Has he done a Roman Grosjean?
I believe he has.
Oh, that is a real shame for Connor. This race promised so.
I'm have a look. Yeah, the collision just before the chicane. I think Moose as well just clipped the wall there and lost a bit of front wing. I'm not too sure.
Let's have a look. Doesn't seem to have lost any bit off of the M plate thing. Well, if he has hit the wall, he's luckily got away with any severe consequences. But Toby is your race leader. He was the lead driver starting on the medium compound tyres. He is the absolute race leader now. But this strategy seems unlikely to be fortuitous, but time will tell if another safety car is deployed or if there is yet more anarchy amongst the pack. McLaren still could bring home a very strong result. Atomic Drax, who started in P10, runs P2. Don't believe he's made his pit stop yet, so he is out of sync with the rest of the pack. Akerdre, though, started 15th. He now runs 5th, and this bit has mighty revive from the Alpine.
Yeah, so far some great driving. Obviously some issues here and there hitting the wall, but all in all, the race has been fairly clean. That's good to see.
So then every driver apart from the top two have made their pit stops. And for the likes of Moose, who had to pit early on, he is very much back in the running in this race. But the safety car coming in at the end of this lap, we're going to see who can take advantage of this yellow flag period and the soon-to-be green flag periods. Horribly weaving this way and that way. The medium compound tyres are normally a little bit more tricky to get up to temperature. So he's having to put a lot of effort into getting them into the right window. But the timing of his safety car restarts is going to be critical. Can he get away from Atomic Drax, or is the Ferrari going to be hunting him down?
Going very, very late.
Looks like he is. It's going to have to be down the start-finish straight, and it looks like he's timed it to an absolute T. He has caught Atomic Drax napping, and his hydrant now going to displace of the Ferrari into turn one. He's closing in on the Ferrari, but he's not quite close enough. It looks like Theo has progressed ahead of Ellie, is now coming for a new front wing. But the battle for second places is contested between Atomic Drax and Hydrant. The Alpine wanting to get past the Ferrari, but at the moment he's going to have to stick behind the Ferrari's rear wing. But what an exit top of turn 7. Does he have a chance into turn 8? He looks for the inside line and he sees his second place, but takes to the curb quite a lot. And certain others.
Headley as well, doing some great fighting there.
So it is Hydrant running in second, all the Ferrari onto the brakes into the hairpin. Is this Headley's chance to perhaps get up into third place? Doesn't seem that way at the moment. Funky Delia and Theo are ignited in a battle. It's the Williams currently ahead of the McLaren, but Jay Headley hunting from Atomic Drax, who is hunting down Hydrant.
Oh, 3-1 into the chicane!
Oh,
I can't go in well!
Well, it's ended in disaster for Jay Headley. It's ended in disaster for Hydrant, and the Alpine, who was looking to possibly hold the race lead after all the pit stops have been taken. He is tumbled down to 10th place in a fanciful move into the chicane, 3 wide, which is utterly unheard of in Formula 1. It just has not worked. 3 into 1 just does not go. So getting past Atomic Drax and the Alfa Romeo up into third. Moose and his brother Troll are going to follow suit. Oh, and it looks like we have a spinner. It's Ellie in the Red Bull. She's damaged her front wing, and she drops now out of the points. But again, utter anarchy amongst the fields. And right now, impossibly, the Curve is effectively the next Funky Delia. So late onto the brakes into the hairpin, and he's intact with another driver, which has spun him around and surely has damaged his front wing. It was an opportunistic move there from the Williams, who just misjudged his braking point there. Surely that move is never going to come off. But like I said, Akerdre, who started last, well, could be on for a race win here, but we still have just under half this race to go. Hydrant to progress past Theo and on towards turn 1. He does just that. It looks like there may have been just a little bit of contact, but the Alpine is ahead, and Funky Delia losing surely yet more of his front wing, bashing Theo out of the way and up into 8th place. Not the cleanest driving I've ever seen there. We'll have to see if the stewards have a look at that, but for the moment the Williams is up into 8th. Moose.
I believe Theo has got front wing damage on the right end plate. It's completely gone, so he's going to have to make another pit stop, and that's really going to hamper him.
It is indeed all Hydrant down the inside of Atomic Drax, and Hydrant now is up into 6th. Don't want to count him out of this race victory chance just yet, but he's going to have to do some overtaking, and he is going to have to provide some utterly scintillating pace. Moose now is going to have to defend from Brother Troll. Are they going to go side by side into the chicane? It hasn't worked for some of the drivers earlier on. But Brother Troll thinks instead of making a move down the start-finish straight. He has DRS on the Haas. Does he have 3rd place? He's late onto the brakes, but he's not close enough to really make an impression onto the Haas. Oh, and Horrid B and Jay Headley going side by side. McLaren around the outside on the softer tyres manages to keep ahead of the AlphaTauri after his pit stop. So, we'll have to see how effectively Horrid B can use these younger, softer tyres, and whether he can bring himself back into play. It will be a tall order with us being on lap 11 of 18. 11. That's the beauty of PFL, and every inch of its beauty there for everyone to see. Moose does still hold 3rd place, but the Alfa Romeo behind him will have DRS, and he will pose a major threat to the chicane.
And with almost a full ERS as well, a good 75-80%. Oh, and Moose is already blinking as well, so it's going to be even easier. Give it a couple more laps, I think Brother Troll could have Moose in his sights.
Horrid B is up into 6th place now. He's of Atomic Drax, and his quest for a place back amongst the podium cities is very much on. So then at the moment it is a 3-way fight for 3rd place. Hydrant, who started from pole and had an incident through the fine chicane, dropped down the order. Oh, that's a hit!
Oh, big crush!
And somehow Brother Troll remains in the race, but he is missing a front wing and will have to pay another visit to the pit stop, and the virtual safety car has been deployed. The Troll then overtakes out of Piers, I believe. But wow, that was a scary moment from the Alfa Romeo, and to be quite frank, he's lucky to still be in this race.
Ooh, Cadre pitting as well. That's an interesting one, as does Bullet. That is interesting, because it's only a VSC. It's going to be, like, the laps are going to be great, like, the tyres are going to be great, but that's going to put them maybe P5, P6, at least.
And it's already come in as the virtual safety cars. The likes of Bullet and the Cadre, well, they're going to be dropping back significantly. So Hydrant then, the revive for his victory, not only is it on, it's also plausible. The race win is tantalisingly close to him. And wow, what a change of fortunes. The inverse proportionality of dropping down the order and letting the race win has struck the Alpine, and he needs to seize every opportunity that has been presented to him in the last few moments. Horrid runs P3, Jay Headley P4, a Cadre P5. Still been a promising drive from the Alpine, but could this pit stop be a missed opportunity for him?
He's already closed that though. The fresh softs versus 7-lap old mediums, the gap is getting closed down significantly. Jay Headley there, not with any ERS to play with, so a Cadre could still be on for a podium maybe.
This is going to be a fascinating race to the end. But meanwhile, out in front, we have an intriguing battle for the lead. Moose is holding his own for the moment. Cadre has got past Jay Headley now. Cruises past the AlphaTauri, but Hydrant's around the outside into turn 1. It looks like he may be able to put it up in this contact. Moose spinning around. And what was once the race lead is going to see him most probably out of the podium positions. So a Cadre now, all of a sudden, is up into the P3, about 5 seconds off the race lead with 5 laps remaining. God, what an ending we have in store. Unfortunate contact between the Hassel Moose and Hydrant there. It just seems like just a little misjudgment from Moose, who thought the Alpine would turn earlier into the turn 2 apex. but what was formerly the race lead for back to something, well, not as handsome. But Horriby, he's on soft tyres. So, well, Hydrant still could be very much at the risk of losing the lead of the race. Horriby will be hunting him down with DRS. And the Cadre is coming at them too. This could be a bold turn, brilliant strategy from Cadre. And my word, what a final few laps we have ahead of us. Bullet now progresses past Jay Headley into the chicane. And he now runs in fourth place, but Hydrant's lead is evaporating. Horriby's advantage over Cadre is evaporating. You can really feel the tension, you can really visualise the trepidation amongst the drivers wanting to keep it on the island. We've already lost 3 drivers race. Still have a few more seeking race victory.
Horriby making a mistake there now. He's out the DRS. He's got DRS for the long straight where it all matters. He's not going to have the DRS unless he can get an immense corner at the hairpin.
We'll have to see. And it is actually coming down. Could he have the DRS perhaps? Depends where the action zone is. I think it was a little bit too early for him. We'll have to see. We will have to see. No, he doesn't.
No DRS this time.
But the gap is only half a second now. So, very much in play.
Oh! Sorry, I had a lag and it looked like a Horriby went straight to the side of Cadre.
Yeah, it was a lag here too. But both of them are still in this race. But Cadre, his presence in this race is very much growing. He is hunting down Horriby, he is hunting down Hydrant with just 3 laps remaining. Who is going to emerge as the race winner? We've seen the improbable become possible at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve this weekend. Cadre may be inspired by that. He still has 2 overtakes to complete if he wants to replicate the success of Scofie from Saturday and Friday. But Hydrant, well, he has the McLaren of Horriby really hunting him down. He will have DRS most probably on towards the final chicane, and with it, will he have the race lead? He thinks about taking a tight line into the hairpin. As he lays down the throttle, he's got a good chance, has the McLaren. Hydrant started this race from pole, he's leading it at the moment. He's had the race akin to a roller coaster, but he's still in the lead about, and it looks like he's 17.
Great race between the top 3 at the moment so far, but Cadre slowly closing that gap. The more these 2 fight at the front, the closer Cadre gets, and that gets closer to a win.
He's licking his win is almost tangible to him. He's finding the key that unlocks the case to the race winner's trophy, but that key is the big question. It's the great barrier to his race win quest. Horriby slightly losing the rear there through to losing touch of the wall. Manages to escape damage. So on lap 17 of 80, Cadre doesn't seem like he's really eaten into the gap that he would have liked to. So the gamble going on to another set of soft tyres, has it backfired for the Alpine? It's currently an Alpine 1-3, could it soon be a 2-3 because Horriby is hunting down Hydrant. He looks to the inside into the final chicane. Is he late enough on the brakes? He is. With just a lap left, Horriby is in the lead of the race. Hydrant though did not get the best of exits, and his teammates will look to displace him.
Now, if they're going to play the team game here, Cadre is the faster driver. Has a little bit of ERS, so you'd let your teammate through. You let him go for the McLaren, but it's up to these 2 what happens in the final lap.
Yes, the Cadre is ahead. He did have to fight for that more than he perhaps wanted. Hydrant does not want to lose this battle, though he's given it a go. As the Cadre is up into 2nd place, but I fear it will not be enough. The gap is not enough for the moment to really trouble Horriby. Having said that, it's coming down all the time. It's a battle of who will have the tools to possibly win this race. The Cadre gets within the McLaren's DRS. It looks like we may just have a fight on towards the last chicane, maybe. This weekend of action around the circuit Gilles Villeneuve PFL has been one of intrigue, it has been one of improbability, it's been one of impossibility. We've seen Scoville go from last to first on Friday, we've seen him go from 9th to 1st on Saturday. Hyden's gone from 15, isn't going to be the winner because Hornsby looks like he's going to win. It's been a crash for Bullet at the final corner. It looks like he's going to preserve that 5th place. Having said that, he is slowed down to the checkered flag. JH, he is not close enough. But Hornsby is your race winner from 3rd place on the grid. He fends off the curb drive. And wow, what a race. What a fantastic sprint that was, Matt. Hornsby holding his own in the end and coming out on top.
Yeah, great result there for Cadre as well. Starting last and getting into P2. And doing an extra pit stop. It was great stuff to see. And don't forget Bullet. Bullet started P9 up into P4. Great result for him as well, considering it's only his 2nd or 3rd league race ever. It's a good result.
Indeed it was, but Hornsby is your race victor. Around the circuit, your Villeneuve, his teammates comes home in P12 to round out a lot of the drivers that have finished. And yeah, another fantastic race in PFL. Rounding out a weekend, rounding out a week of pure carnage around the track. But for the moment, Hornsby is the man that we congratulate. He climbs to the top step of the podium, leading home both Alpines. Well, what another fabulous race that was. And yeah, Hornsby, your race winner. Now, obviously, he started on the medium compound tyres, and I think he did pit later than those around him. He didn't pit under the safety car, but used the softer compound tyres, capitalised on the drivers around him. Their misfortunes paved the way for Hornsby to plant his path to victory, and he's duly done so. Of course, also winning at his home Grand Prix. So what a fabulous...
It is indeed, yeah.
Well,
great stuff to see.
Yeah. Well, Hornsby winning at home. Moose, the other Canadian, brother Charles, also Canadian, but the 2 Canadians behind Hornsby also scoring points at their home race. So, it's been one for the Canadians. If there are any Canadians watching this, I don't know what language you speak, but hello. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that race. I really don't know what language they speak. Is it French? I don't know. But
English and French.
Okay, I can only speak one of them. Apparently it isn't English, no, I'm joking. So Hornsby is your race winner ahead of a Cadre. Heisman comes home in 3rd, top rated by just a mere 2nd. Well, PFL has lived up to the drama that previous races this week have, well, expected of this sprint, and well, it has delivered this race. The 18 laps blasted by, and it's Hornsby that blasted to victory. From myself and Matt, thank you for the company. PFL will return on Wednesday for 3 around Danforth. So then, Formula 1 to a track where in real life Formula 1, PFL going to a track where in real life Formula 1 headed to last year for the first time since 1985. What is in store for PFL next week? Make sure you tune in to find out.